Hi folks, this is Tuesday video 1. Today we're going to be talking about avoiding plagiarism and citations part 2. So up until now the citations have been pretty rushed. I'm going to take some more time to really go through how to incorporate quotes in your paper, also paraphrases or summaries, and how to do that works cited page. So the first thing in this video we're going to talk about is plagiarism. Then we're going to move on to how to incorporate quotes and paraphrases in your paper. The next video will feature how to kind of hedge your paragraphs if you're using quotes in your paper, and also paraphrases. So what information to include around the quotes and how to incorporate them stylistically and responsibly in your papers. So first off, I had you I had you do this tutorial. I have the link here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull that up. And you'll hear guys snoring, yes, because plagiarism is boring, right? Well, for this tutorial, you go ahead and do it. It takes about 10 minutes. It took me a little less. So when you start the video, you'll go through and choose Dylan, because he is in the arts and he will allow us to get into the Mla citation style. So I'm going to just kind of briefly go over what's in this video, but you guys should do this video as it provides you with some examples of what counts as plagiarism and what doesn't. Some of them are pretty tricky, so please read carefully. And like I said, this doesn't take very long and it is very helpful. So a lot of the school required or asked for me to make you do a lot of other plagiarism tutorials, but this is the best one, so I just chose this one. So please do take the time to do this tutorial. So in this video, it's essentially saying, like, start your research early. That's a good note for the rhetorical analysis paper, but more so for the stakeholder paper, as the stakeholder paper will require more research, and then English 102 will require even more research. In whatever field you're in, you're going to be doing research probably the rest of your college career. So please get comfortable with it. It is a hassle at first, but it can teach you some really valuable things about what you are adding to the discussion that already exists. Okay, so start early. The second is, when you're doing research, make sure you take notes. So you might bookmark a page. You might just jot down the author's name whenever you put a quote in, or even an idea, because remember that plagiarism is when you take someone's words or their ideas without giving them credit. So make sure that when you're doing your research, you just jot down some notes, even if you're going to use it or not, okay? Because that will really help you later on when you go back and you say, oh crap, I didn't take any notes, and the paper's due tomorrow, I have to cite everything. Cite it while you go. You don't have to do the whole works cited page, just know where everything comes from, because that's how you get into a bind, is when you say, okay, well, maybe she won't notice, and then 9 times out of 10 I will, and let's just not do that, okay? Just cite responsibly. Okay. And then there are 2 types of citation for MLA. So there are multiple citation styles, but the 2 that we're going to talk about is MLA in-text citation. That's the parentheses in the actual paragraphs in your paper, and a works cited page. So if it's one work, you don't have it pluralized, and if it's more than one, you have works cited. Okay, we'll take a look at some examples of this. So basically you have 2 jobs, citing it within the paper and citing at the very end of the paper. So again, do this tutorial, it'll help you with what we're talking about. Okay, so what we're going to take a look at is how to cite something from a book, a web page, and an online journal article, because those are the 3 things that you'll probably be working with the most. So a book is actually the easiest. We'll go ahead and start it. And again, the MLA citation guide has updated from the 7th to the 8th. Again, I don't know who makes these rules. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I have to follow them. I have to teach them to you. And I'm going to help guide you as much as possible. I know they're really tedious, but they do follow a pattern. It's kind of like grammar / like algebra. Like, it's really systematic, okay? So Purdue OWL, I've recommended several of you to come here already, and I've already showed it on another video. Purdue OWL MLA has the citation styles that you will want to follow, and it's the most accessible website that I can come up with. In case you don't own the 8th or the newest edition of Easy Writer that has the correct and updated MLA, if you don't own that because it's quite expensive, then you should come here. The main changes with the MLA style. So it says major changes here. I've already went to this. Basically, they do not include the medium of access. So words like print, web, those are all taken out now. They're deleted. Also, it does not require the city of publication, just the publisher and the year. So we'll take a closer look at what these things mean. For a book now, let's go ahead. I can't show you a book, but I can show you a passage of a book online. So let's just look at this first sentence. This is what the author wrote, okay? And this is taken from page 248 of Ashley Montagu's book, The American Way of Life. So let's say that we want to quote, direct quote, and from the video and also maybe just from your own knowledge, direct quoting is when you're taking the author's word for word, punctuation for punctuation. So if you change anything, then you'll need to alter how you cite it, and I'll show you that in just a second. So let's take this and let's drop it down here. Let's say that I want to include this quote in my paper. So the first thing I need to do is put quotation marks around it, okay? That's already saying that these are not my words. This is someone else's words. Now we need to indicate whose words they are. So, as many of you indicated in your free write, you know what to do here. You look for the author's last name. So we have Montague. Then, if you have a page number for an online journal article or a book, or sometimes they're on websites, but very rarely. If you have a page number, though, you need to put the page number, okay? And there's no comma, there's no P, nothing here. You just put 248, all right? Author's last name, page number. And then the last thing you do is you put the period outside all of this, because it's encapsulating the entire quote and the citation that goes next to the quote, okay? So this would technically be correct. It's not the best stylistically, and I will definitely comment on that in the next video, but you have not plagiarized if you've done all this, okay? So let's say we want to paraphrase. And this would not be a great sentence to paraphrase because it's short and it's better as a direct quote, but let's just pretend for argument's sake that you paraphrase this. So paraphrasing is choosing the idea of the author but using your own words to describe it. So we might have something like, being a human means you have the ability to cry. Okay? So this is essentially the same thing. It's definitely wordier and not as strong. But what you would do here, even though it's not a direct quote, you need to include the in-text citation, the author's last name and page number. So if you get another idea from a different page, you need to put the other page number, okay? So it's really guiding your reader toward accessing the same information that you have already researched, all right? It's just being clear and transparent about where you're getting your sources. So this would be for a book, a print book. The citation for this, we don't have all of the information, but you always put, actually, pull up another document. You have centered, works, cited, okay? And then it's all double space. And then this is control left, okay? So we have Montague, comma, Ashley, and then we have the book title, The American Way of Life. This is in italics because it's a title of a larger work. It can be underlined or italicized. Articles or shorter works like poems and TV episodes, stuff like that, those need to be in quotation marks. The title of your movies need to be italicized. So The Purge election year needs to be italicized. Mad Max needs to be italicized because those are larger works. They're entire movies. Okay. So here, then normally we would put the publishing city. However, the new citation style says we don't need the city anymore for some reason. So let's just say it was published by, we'll say the press is West Virginia University Press, then the year. I'm making this part up because I don't have this information. And then we normally would put print, but again, they have slimmed down the citation, so this is it. That's what you would put for the new style. Okay, let's move on to the next. I know this is still rushed, but I'm doing the best with, the time that you have. Let's say we want to look at an online journal article. Okay, so this here, which is again under the Purdue OWL, it says an online scholarly journal article, which is what JSTOR is and which is what Project Muse is. So you get a quote from there, and the exact same way that we included the quote from the book, you would include from the journal article. You look for the author's name and you look for the page number. Journal articles online will have page numbers, okay? So if I see that you're quoting a journal article and there's no page number, I'm going to highlight it and say go back and get the page number. And sometimes I check these, okay? So just be as thorough as possible because I'm trying to train you for the next class and train you for all the research you're going to do in the future. I'm not trying to be evil or mean. I'm just trying to make sure you know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's just take the example from online. So this here, if it also appears in print or in, actually, you're going to be using a database. So let's drop down to this one. This one's more accurate. So let's take this example. I'm just going to copy it for the sake of time and then paste it here. So we have quoted something from this article, and it's an article I know because it's in quotation marks. So we have the author's last name, comma, first name, period. All right, we have the article in quotation marks, and everything is, you can notice here, is capitalized except for like prepositions and articles and conjunctions. Okay, just copy it and paste it from like JSTOR. All right, historical journal, this is the title of the journal, this is the volume number, this is the issue. This is changed, so they want you actually now to spell out like volume, I think issue. So these things I would need to definitely go up to major changes and the new edition, and then they make it clear here how to cite journal article online a little bit differently. So here I'll just go ahead and copy and paste this, and I'll fill in the new information. So I'll drop it down. This is normally how I cite. So volume number, we got that right because it says VOL period, comma, so I messed that up, and then NO, which is number of the issue. Okay, then they have another comma. They have spring, we don't know when it was, but they just have the date. So we have 2007, and then they have comma, pages, and then these pages here. Okay, so basically I just altered the new information with the new style. ProQuest is something like JSTOR, Project Muse, that's what you would put here. We take out any medium of access, web, whatever, and this is your date of access. Whenever you as a student went online and looked at this information, this is the day, the month. If it's something like October, you would just have the abbreviation for it. May is short enough that you don't need to abbreviate it, and then the year and a period. We want to make sure that all of this is uniform in terms of the font size, and if you have an entry that is longer than one line, then you indent the second, third, fourth, etc. line. You keep this one flush left. You also, another rule, you put them alphabetically. So L comes before M, so we need to put that one first. Okay, in the next video, we're going to continue and do a website, so then we can have one example for each major style that you're going to encounter. So stick around for that.